a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
Imagine jumping into a pit of boiling acid. Now multiply that pain times 50. You still won't be close to understanding what it felt like to swim in the Styx. I planned to walk in slow and courageous like a real hero. As soon as the water touched my legs, my muscles turned to jelly and I fell face first into the current. I submerged completely. For the first time in my life, I couldn't breathe underwater. I finally understood the panic of drowning. Every nerve in my body burned. I was dissolving in the water. I saw faces. Rachel, Grover, Tyson, my mother. But they faded as soon as they appeared. "Percy," my mom said, "I give you my blessing." "Be safe, brother," Tyson pleaded. "Enchiladas," Grover said. I wasn't sure where that came from, but it didn't seem to help much. I was losing the fight. The pain was too much. My hands and feet were melting into the water. My soul was being ripped from my body. I couldn't remember who I was. The pain of Kronos' scythe had been nothing compared to this. "The cord," a familiar voice said. "Remember your lifeline, dummy!" Suddenly there was a tug on my lower back. The current pulled at me, but it wasn't carrying me away anymore. I imagined the string in my back keeping me tied to the shore. "Hold on, seaweed brain." It was Annabeth's voice, much clearer now. "You're not getting away from me that easily."
Welcome to Of the Eldest Gods, where we discuss Rick Riordan's role as our godly parent.
I'm Raye from Cabin 12.
And I'm Charlie from Cabin 13.
And I'm Blake from Cabin 15.
Hi!
What's up?
Hello!
You know, before this call, Raye and I were just talking about how we miss each other, and then I saw you pop up in there, and I'm like, I also miss Blake, though. Like, I miss all my friends, okay? That's the vibe I'm bringing into this chat today.
That's the adult vibe of missing your friends.
No one has any time ever. I blame capitalism.
I think most normal adults don't have, like, all of their friends living in different states, though.
That's true, too.
Well, some adults.
Some.
You know.
I'm a Discord adult. All of my friends live there and not near me. So I suffer.
I have like a single, like 2 work friends and one of them just changed to a different job and it's like, well, now I have one work friend.
I just got work friends. Like last week. Yeah. That was the first time I got phone numbers from anyone I work with.
Oh, I've never done that. I have,
I should say,
an old work friend's Discord. That's it.
I mean, past jobs, I had people's phone numbers because we were in group chats, sending the schedule back and forth. That's not like consensual. Like I'm getting your number because I want to speak to you. I'm getting your number because I require it. Yeah, work is dumb. Fuck capitalism. So Percy Jackson.
Percy Jackson.
Percy, my beautiful son.
How's Percy doing this week?
Oh, could be better.
I think he's really living up to his name. I don't think I've explained this to you, Blake, but Percy, like, the name literally means to destroy. Perseus, it means to destroy. So
she sure did destroy things this chapter.
Just a little bit.
All right.
It's
well,
fine.
let me tell you about it.
Okay.
So we read, I take the worst bath ever. AKA Percy becomes OP. Percy.
Yes. No, that's the chapter title. Percy becomes OP.
Yes. So, first, Percy has a dream about Rachel on vacation for like 3 seconds, and then we go and check in on Typhon and the gods, and that isn't going very well. And then Percy wakes up and chokes out a small child, and then Nico helps him escape bone jail. Mrs.
no.
O'Leary helps them get to the River Styx, and they meet up with Achilles, who finally reveals what the dangerous plan is in case we hadn't figured it out. He's gonna get in that river, you know. Nico is having second thoughts about this whole thing, but Percy goes for a dip anyways. He has some cool hallucinations about his friends, but especially Annabeth, and then Hades comes by to murder him, but Percy is now basically unmurderable, and he kills a whole army of skeletons. And then Percy and Nico split up, and he heads back to the surface to face Luke.
Heck yeah. Percy Jackson, y'all.
It's getting serious.
It's getting so serious. We in it to win it. Percy's invincible.
Crazy.
How do we feel about this?
It's quite the development. Like,
I told you he was going to become a vampire. Am I wrong?
damn. Just like Twilight.
Blake, this has been my quote unquote theory because the prophecy, a single choice to end his days. Well, I mean, he's in other books, so clearly he's just going to become a Lord of the Night, and become a vampire. And so
I gotcha. So no more daylight. Just that makes sense. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'll be undead, and now he's invincible. So he's basically there.
So yeah. This is the kind of move you really can only make in the last book of the series.
Yeah.
I think this is where we prove that Percy Jackson is a magical girl. Like, right? Like,
was he not already?
I think you have a different definition of magical girl, maybe?
No, like, this is his final transformation, right? Like, in the final season? Yeah, he leveled up.
Like a Pokemon. I don't know that he had a magical girl transformation sequence.
He did.
That's the important thing to me, is that he gets a cool new outfit, and that did not happen, so...
I mean, it's true. He didn't get a new outfit, he just got, like, ripped up clothes. But...
From skeletons.
But listen to me for a second. It's basically like in Sailor Moon, when, like, she goes into, like, the weird, like, trance or something, and her moon mother was like, I'm giving you some new powers. Here you go. And that's basically what happened to Percy when he was in the River Styx.
I see the parallel you're drawing, but it's not enough for me to call Percy a magical girl, because lots of people get power-ups.
Yeah.
No, all of those people are magical girls too, right?
That's fair.
This is I'm widening the definition of magical girl. Okay? Well. There you go. If you have, like, one
anything
of these
can mean
things,
anything if you let it mean anything.
Exactly. This is how you define it, okay?
No, we need strict boxes.
Around the magical girls? Don't you think that's rather gender normative of you?
I'm not saying that boys can't be magical girls. I'm saying that magical girl is a term that has a meaning.
Haven't you seen the Cute Earth Defense Club or whatever it's called?
The Magical Boys one.
Yeah, there's that one.
I remember hearing about that.
Or something.
It's like a purple wombat, I think.
Right, yeah.
It's weird. I saw one episode in our anime club in college.
I watched about half of it. I liked it. Could not finish it, though. As with many things.
Consuming media.
It's
wow.
hard.
Oh, big mood. Hey, isn't it nice that the strike is over and that now we can talk about TV and film without regret?
I know, right? Let's hope that, like, actually works out. Like, technically the strike is over at this point.
Mm-hmm.
They still have to finalize things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
as from what I understand, like, they're pretty much done negotiating for now. It's like this is supposed to hold them over for a couple of years or something, but I haven't looked very deep into it.
I was
like,
years. That's hopeful.
I told Robert to, like, wait like a week before we get back into because I'm like, wait. I mean, the strike's over, but, like, do we want to just immediately put out an episode on Friday? I don't know.
I did, so...
I know you did, and I'm happy for it.
Hey guys, you should go listen to Barbie Movie Slap. It's been, like, over a year.
I think that's the plug for the episode. Listen to Barbie Movie Slap, everyone. Okay. Percy Jackson, myths, things. I have stuff to talk about.
Yes.
I have myths. I have so many things. Okay. In case you missed it.
But I was waiting. I was like tensed and ready.
Your body was ready.
I feel like I missed out on something special here, but that's okay.
You'll have to be prepared next time. We'll make sure.
You have to get in on like the joke, like, you know. That's just how it goes every time.
You just gotta start doing it like I did. That's how I got in on that bit. Was I just did it reflexively.
You were like, well, Charlie's doing the thing. It's not going to be in sync, but it's fine. It's fine. It'll work.
You're both in sync to me. It was actually rather astounding.
Huh. Aww. See, to me, we were super out of sync, so that's why it worked.
Amazing. All right. Let's talk about literally the man, the myth, the legend, Achilles. It's time. He's finally here. You showed up. Okay? It's him. I'll talk about the Percy Jackson version of him and my feelings on that. But for now, actual mythological Achilles, hero of the Trojan War, the greatest of all Greek warriors, yada 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 yada. So he's the son of the hero Peleus, and the married Thetis. So she's like, I mean, I think sometimes she's called a goddess, but like she's also just like a sea nymph. Mm-hmm. Like Percy and Achilles both have like water things. Ain't that cool?
Wow,
right? So he is from this place that I cannot pronounce. Phthia? There are too many consonants in this word.
Yeah. There's 2 H's before there's even a vowel.
Exactly. Like my brain wants to be like, it's Pythia. No, that's a different word altogether. That's an H there. That's not a Y. Phthia. Oh, we got an etymology. I love when there's an etymology. All right, his name could possibly be distress, pain, sorrow, grief. Like the first part of his name. And then the second part is like people, soldiers, nation.
Yeah, it sounds like Achilles.
I wonder what that could possibly mean.
So you could translate his name as he whose people have distress. That's so funny. Oh my god. Yeah, that makes sense though with like the beginning of his name. There's like a goddess like Aklis, who's like the goddess of pain and suffering. Very fun.
Could you imagine naming a child that though?
Yeah, this child is going to have pain and suffering. So it makes sense. It really makes sense. Why didn't my parents name me Pain and Suffering?
Don't worry about it.
It's like those names like Chastity and Patience or whatever, but like polar opposite.
Mm.
Yeah. No, that's great though. Time to name your kids this stuff again. My child's name is like Sorrow, actually. My child's name is Anxiety.
I'm sure there's like a very like popular name we're forgetting that does mean one of these bad things, but whatever.
Oh, there's definitely a bunch of them.
I'm trying to think of it, but it's not coming.
Well, let's talk about Achilles and like how his parents are like the reason the Trojan War even existed. I've definitely mentioned it before, but it was at their literal wedding where shit went down and it was cray-cray. Like, it was Peleus and Thetis getting married, and that's when Eris, the goddess of discord, was upset because she wasn't invited. So that's why the 3 goddesses had their fight, and I guess Aphrodite was chosen to be the most beautiful one of all. And then it's like, okay, I guess your son is going to be the person to like fight in this war, but not even like win it necessarily. He kind of dies early.
Yeah.
I mean, not early. He fights for 10 years, but like, no, he didn't. He doesn't even fight for 10 years. Don't listen to me. Don't ever listen to me. He's in the war, like next to it for 10 years, and then he fights for 10 minutes, and then he dies.
Yeah.
That's it.
But what a 10 minutes.
That's his whole role, is that we've already talked about how he did not want to take up the fight because someone else stole his... I can't even speak about it. I had trouble when we talked about that myth, but like his concubine...
You could say slave. That would be inappropriate. terminology.
Yeah, took his slave girl, his prize, as he would call it.
Yeah.
And that's why he would not fight for 10 years. But
basically
then,
very shitty dude in general.
Very, very shitty dude. But you go into the fight because your boyfriend decides to put on your armor and die. It's fine. It's all good.
The Trojan War really is just interpersonal drama.
It so is. Literally all of it is just drama. Is that not how wars are, though?
Definitely in literature.
Somebody made somebody unhappy, so there was drama. And that's how it all happens.
See, real life wars are more like, I would like your stuff, so I'm going to take it now. Have fun dying.
Yeah. Well, we also get to talk about him when, he was like a small baby, because like that's where some of the stuff that's happening in this chapter happens.
Yes.
His mommy tried to make him immortal by just like dipping him in the river. But she just like held him on his heel, and so he was vulnerable there. Oh god, is it? I want to say there was like a meme or like maybe a drawing or something that someone made where it's like those two spots where like she's holding him are vulnerable, and then like she's also got like invulnerable fingers probably.
Oh yeah.
Am I wrong?
Someone on Tumblr was saying like you gotta get one of those like oil baskets that they cook fries in and just shake him around in there.
Like some chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Yes. That's exactly what you should have done, Thetis. Why weren't you thinking like this? Eat your baby like some fries.
Yeah, you gotta get him coated.
Absolutely coated. Yeah, but there's also another version where she just anoints him in ambrosia, puts him on top of a fire to burn away the mortal parts of his body. And then she's interrupted by Peleus, and then she's mad, so she abandons them. That's a fun part. That sounds a lot like a Demeter myth.
Yeah, I was about to say, literally, she also put a baby in a fire and then was like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. People are mad.
No, she was mad. She's like, you didn't want me to turn your son immortal? I was giving you a gift. Bye!
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna finish now. I could have made him a god. It's just so funny.
I guess that's just an established way to do that. That's part of the lore.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, again, Heracles did something like that too, where he literally lights himself on fire so that he can burn away his mortal half when he's in so much pain that he wants to die. So he's like, okay, I'm just gonna become a god, guys. It's fine. This is how you do it. You just set yourself on fire.
Okay.
Writing that down. Set myself on fire.
I'm sure it'll work. Like, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
We have a physical description on this Wikipedia page.
Yo, what?
He's described as having a large chest, a fine mouth, powerfully formed arms and legs. His head was covered in long, wavy, chestnut-covered hair. Though mild in manner, he was very fierce in battle. His face showed the joy of a man richly endowed.
Having a big dick makes you happy. I don't know what to say.
I can't with this. This is so funny. Oh my god. This is just like one guy's description. This isn't even like, this is the account by Darius Phrygius. Yeah, cool.
Cool. Sometimes you're just really horny for characters.
Yeah.
Those Greeks are all bisexual, okay? At least all the men are definitely bisexual. Because it was cool.
They're fashionable.
Remember when being bisexual was cool? Remember that? It was in ancient Greece.
It's also now. Bisexual's fucking sick.
Right? Another important part of Achilles' childhood, speaking of queerness, so he was, in order to keep him safe from the war, his mother sent him to this island, Skyros, where he was disguised as a girl and named Pyrrha. And this is where, he did some things with a girl that were not very consensual.
The fuck? Hello?
Yeah. it's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine at all. But that's how you get his son, Neoptolemus. Yep. Because he fucked this guy's daughter who he was staying with, even though nobody knew he was a guy.
This is like...
Sounds Greek.
It's very Greek.
It sounds like anti-trans propaganda. This is what they think is going to happen.
They're just going to invade the women's spaces.
Your men are going to dress as women. Yeah. Huh. Anyways, this is interesting to me because there's a character in fucking Ruby, the Rooster Teeth online animated show, whose name is Pyrrha, who's an Achilles analog, and I never knew that was like a real thing.
Yeah, Achilles is called Pyrrha, and then sometimes his son is nicknamed Pyrrhus because of that, also known as Neoptolemus, who also fights in the war. It's very confusing, this timeline, because Neoptolemus should not even be like 10 years old. Huh. And then he gets to fight in the war, and he also gets a slave bride.
What the fuck?
Like, please, somebody explain how this works. Is it not 10 years long? I swear, the Trojan War was supposed to be 10 years long. It's very dumb. It's very weird.
He's very mature for a 10-year-old.
Also, how old is even Achilles? Because this war started when he was, like, not even born yet, I thought. Again, what is the Trojan War?
It can't be 10 years long, then. There must be some kind of miscommunication there.
There's something wrong.
Yeah.
They don't know how ages work, I think.
Some sort of time dilation going on here.
Maybe they're just like, they're demigods. They actually just like sprung forth like Athena, just like fully formed in armor. I don't know.
It's like those Overwatch characters who are supposed to be childhood friends, but they're like a decade or older than their childhood friend. It's like, don't worry about it.
I've not delved into Overwatch. So
Me neither, but it's just another thing that I saw on Tumblr randomly. Sometimes you just don't worry about it and you just write things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, those are some of the really big things about Achilles. It's mostly the Iliad, which is like the last chapter of his life. Is he gay? Yes, he is gay. Mm-hmm. Let's just put that out right now. He's gay. Okay? Whether he likes girls too? Maybe. But he definitely liked Patroclus. That's the most important thing here.
Absolutely.
He was also, of course, one of the many heroes trained by Chiron.
Indeed.
As you can see, there's like a picture here with Chiron teaching him how to play the lyre. Why that's so important for him to do, I don't know.
Music is very important. It helps you fight by, like, you get the rhythm of battle. Come on, Charlie.
Like, I think for a well-rounded education, go ahead, teach him the lyre. Do I think Achilles cared? No.
It's like how samurai have to be like warrior poets. It's like in order to properly handle the sword, you must understand the spirit.
Amazing. Beautiful. I also want to know why Achilles has like so many freaking names here. Like, seriously.
When you have popular characters...
I understand. I also have 2 names.
Oh, that's true too. He's just trans. That's the answer.
He is. We talked about this already. He's trans. Gender fluid king, actually, Achilles.
True.
Yeah. He's a dude. He did some things. And I don't know, it's very interesting that like such a prolific like Greek hero like this, who's like a demigod, isn't even like a child of Zeus or like a child of one of the better known gods. He's a son of Thetis.
Yeah,
it's just interesting.
What does Thetis even do? Like, what are his demigod powers?
He would probably have like some vague water powers because she's like a sea nymph.
Right. Okay.
And like the whole reason why she's married to Peleus is because Zeus and Poseidon were like, oh shit, there's a prophecy about her, we can't fuck her. Her son will be better than his father, so we're not allowed. They're like, no bone situation here. And they literally just were like, Peleus, you can go have her. She did not want this. At all.
Unfortunate.
Oh.
Poor Thetis. She did not deserve what she got.
Every woman in ancient Greece deserved better.
Every
woman deserves better.
Deserved better. Women deserve better. Women. It just keeps getting smaller. All right. Let's move on from Achilles to something I forgot was kind of referenced in this chapter. So we're gonna fucking talk about it. Some of this stuff is folklore-ish. Some of it is not really. But we're still gonna talk about it because it's fun.
Woo!
All right. So when Percy is like in the sticks, literally talk about like his life cord, like connecting him to his mortality is there. So fun thing, there's this thing called the silver cord in like metaphysical studies and literature. It's like it's the thing that connects your higher self to your physical body. Yeah, you know? Not interesting? Like when you're like astral projecting, like it connects you to your body and such.
That makes sense.
There's like a lot of stuff here. Oh my goodness, I didn't know it does go as far back as like the Tanakh.
Damn.
That's pretty cool. I did not know that. There's literally stuff about the silver cord in there. Yeah, but it's just a really cool thing. There are some other like names for it. It's also called the Sutrata. Let's see if I can pronounce words. Sutratma, or life thread of the Antakarana. Yeah? I'm gonna say I got that, I think.
It looked good to me.
Yeah.
It's
the thread of your consciousness. It keeps you connected. It keeps you grounded. And that's literally what it does for Percy. So I'm like, Rick, was this intentional?
It certainly seems like it, right?
Yeah,
but...
I mean, I don't think he said silver, but he did say cord.
Right.
So I'm gonna go with it.
So basically, Percy just had a near-death experience, and his soul tried to leave his body.
Yes, very much.
He's fine.
I mean, there's also, like, the imagery of, like, an umbilical cord, just saying.
This is true.
True.
Yeah. But I'm gonna also go one step further and compare this to, the red thread of fate, because that also feels very relevant to this chapter. Just a little bit.
You're just saying that because there's a pretty girl at the other end.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong? It's also called the red thread of marriage. It's a thing in East Asian belief and Chinese mythology. It's like the invisible red cord that's around your finger, and it's the other end is tied to the person that you love. You see it a lot of the time in fan art. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Go look at some cute little fan art with like these two characters who are just like in love. Anyway, the shippers love it, okay?
They do.
Wow, there is like a whole folklore section about this, but I do want to talk about the chapter. Yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was like very, very interesting. This is Charlie doing the Charlie Day thing of I've connected the dots.
With the red thread, yeah.
Literally with the red thread.
It's all coming together.
It's all coming together. We did it. All right. Percy Jackson, let's talk about this chapter. He's taking a bath. He did not bring a rubber ducky.
So Percy gets riptide back exactly when it would not be very useful anymore.
Yeah, I want to know, do you think he would have actually died down there? Like, that is very interesting. You're just stuck in a cell, it's just walls.
Oh, do you think he would have suffocated, you mean?
Like,
right, he implies that here in the first paragraph.
Yeah, I don't know. Do they have, like, oxygen down there? Is that, like, I don't know.
So I think that Percy's assessment is probably correct, and that, like, this is, like, a sealed chamber, and he would run out of oxygen if it wasn't magic down there. He's not in a real place. He's in the underworld. He's probably fine. He's a demigod. I don't think physics work.
Yeah, but also he would starve. Wouldn't he also starve?
Probably. I feel like the underworld probably keeps you in the state that you're in perpetually. Either he would have died in a few days, or he would
stay down there indefinitely without aging or anything. Those are like my two options, and I'm kind of leaning towards the second one, but they both seem possible to me.
Okay, my brain also wants to connect this to another myth. Theseus and Pirithous, when they got stuck down in the underworlds, and like I wonder if like there's like a similar thing there. I don't know what my brain is going to, but like they also got stuck down there. Nobody said if they like aged for so long. Theseus wasn't there for too long anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Pirithous is still down there because he tried to kidnap Persephone. It's fine. It's all good. But yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Also, Rick, where is Pirithous? Why don't you just have him in the underworld? Just like stuck to some rock somewhere? Come on, Rick.
He's somewhere. We just haven't come upon him.
We haven't seen the entirety of every inch of the underworld. It's fine.
Nico has.
Nico knows exactly where Pirithous is. He's like...
Yeah, he's just like, I'm not messing with this guy. Like,
he's been down here this long. It's not my place.
Yeah, I don't want to get my butt stuck to a rock forever either. Yeah, so I don't know. That's just be interesting. I wonder how time even works down there. Okay, well, Percy sleeps in the underworld, which sounds like a bad idea.
He's tired. Leave him alone.
I know. At least he doesn't have any really bad nightmares. But
the second one seems pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's not happening to him. It's just happening near him.
In real life, which is even worse.
The dream about Rachel is important? Is it?
I don't know.
I feel like this could have been cut, Rick. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why Rachel scene is here.
Well, I think that it's...
remember she still exists.
I think that it's also a point of contrast. Percy is saying that he is wondering if she is wishing he was there with them because he wishes that he was there with them. It's a point of contrast between the shithole that his life has become and like normal life that he could have been having if he wasn't a demigod.
Mm-hmm. As well as with the next scene of all the war stuff happening, and it's like, well, that's why he can't be there with her.
Oh, and it's also a reminder Rachel exists specifically because Annabeth's about to become important later in the chapter. So it's about Percy and his choices and his thoughts and whatnot.
Yeah, okay. It's not like I don't like Rachel. I was just like, why?
Yeah,
they're
it's
not
weird,
even doing anything.
I think it's just thematic rather than plot.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, so this is real bad. Typhon is like literally halfway across America now.
Okay, he's in St. Louis and he has just collapsed a skyscraper. And Rick, make sure to let us know that the building had been abandoned for demolition, so no one died when that happened. But then another building falls while he's watching, and people are screaming and running, and we get no assurances about that one. So how many people in St. Louis have just died? Who knows?
Rick, you've already killed off characters. You can do this with, like, other unnamed people. You've killed off named people.
Okay,
already.
Okay, my question is, when did this book come out? 2009. Do we know what month? That's probably not that important. I'm just like, 9/11 vibes.
Yeah, 9/11 was still probably pretty, like, yeah, it happened in 2001, but, like, when he was writing it, it was probably, like, 9/11 was important. It was probably still fresh in everyone's minds.
It's the same decade. It's a huge part of the cultural consciousness. Like, maybe destroying a building with a bunch of people in it is just, like, too much for a children's media in the same decade that 9/11 happened.
Yeah. Wasn't 9/11 the reason that, like, the Spider-Man movies had the American flag in them?
9/11 was the reason a lot of things had the American flag in them.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong.
There was a Spider-Man movie that had a trailer where he made a web between the two towers, and they had to get rid of that shit real fast.
Yeah.
And Lilo and Stitch got delayed because they had to edit out a building and make it into a volcano or something instead.
Oh, I didn't know about that. That's fun.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, there was a lot of shit that happened to media because of 9/11.
Well, this is supposed to be a natural disaster, technically. So...
Yeah, from the perspective of the people, it's a horrific storm. But from our perspective, we do know that it's like a big guy who's evil and fucked up.
Yeah, it's fun. We see a couple of the gods, and they're really not doing a whole lot, sadly. They've barely slowed him down. So,
yep.
That's fun. And then immediately, Percy wakes up. And, like, he's, like, half awake, I guess, and is able to, like, almost murder Nico.
Well, you cannot startle warriors awake, or anyone with PTSD, anyone with a fight or flight instinct, like, naturally.
I just wonder what Nico was thinking. Was he not prepared for this?
He really should have been, but, you know, how else are you supposed to wake him up? He's got to get him out of here somehow, so...
Yeah, I mean, what can you do? What can you do, bro?
So how old is Nico again?
He's 12.
He's 12.
12. Imagine just choking out a 12-year-old.
When you're 16?
Uh-huh. Doesn't seem quite fair, does it?
No.
He is a magical 12-year-old.
Nico's so tiny, he's so baby, I love him so much.
Me too! He's so kicked puppy for the rest of this chapter.
I know. He's like, I'm sorry.
He's doing his bestest.
Okay. I have, like, so many feelings still. We definitely talked about this last chapter, but I'm still having the feelings of, like people and how they were about, like, Nico after, like, this thing happened. Like, and how, like, it kind of colored, like, people's feelings about Nico when Heroes of Olympus started and all of that. I was still like, Nico betrayed Percy. It's like, no, he didn't, guys.
He really didn't.
Yeah, how could...
Like, Percy was out of that situation, like, in 2 minutes.
I understand why Percy is mad here. He has been, like, directly wronged, like, a few minutes ago. Like, he's perfectly fine to be upset. But as an audience member, you're like, Nico had no idea this is going to happen. He thought it was going to be fine. From his perspective, it was a small deception, and when it turned out poorly, he immediately rectified that. Like, this is not a betrayal. He's just a little guy.
He's like, I want to know things about my mom. Cool. Can you, like, bring your friend over here for, like, 2 seconds?
I just want to talk to him. I'm not going to hurt him at all. And he's like, okay.
And, like, Nico made him promise that everything would be okay, and Nico, like, took him at his word, and, like, yeah.
Also, he's 12 years old.
Yeah.
Just keep saying it. He's 12, guys. He's fucking 12 years old.
He's 12 years old, and his dad lied to him. Like...
And we definitely talked about it before, but, like, Hades is so mean to Nico.
He's so mean.
You, like, basically wanted Bianca to be the one who lived and not Nico.
Yeah, what the fuck? You can't say that in front of your son.
It's like Nico already feels that way.
Yeah, oh my god! I'll cry.
We're gonna cry forever. Yeah, but Nico is a small boy. He is a Hufflepuff. Don't at me, but actually at me. Go ahead.
Charlie will fight.
Do it. Charlie will fight everyone about Nico and how I love him, and he's just a little guy.
He's just a little guy.
Okay, he didn't know. He wanted to believe in the good.
And then Nico goes around and just points at skeletons and they fall asleep, and I just love that for him.
Literally.
It's so good. Literally. And, like, having that, like, drain him, and then Percy's just, like, dragging him around because he's falling asleep. Like, they made Nico for the girlies and the gays. Like, that's exactly what we like, is when your powers drain you and then you need help from other people. It's a whole thing.
He's so powerful, but still so dependent. And, like,
yes.
It's so good.
I love him. He's just
and he doesn't want to rely on others, but he has to because he's powerful, but his powers drain him. It's a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's alone all the time, And so there is no one to help him normally, and he just, like, passed out in China, and that's, like, a canon thing that happened.
That I still want a short story for. Rick!
I know.
Rick!
It's like a couple of accidental trips to China. It's like, I want to see these.
Anyways, Nico is the saddest character ever, and I love him.
Nico! Alright, well, they found the dog, at least. While Percy is dragging Nico, they find Mrs. O'Leary, and she gives them a ride. Sadly, Cerberus cannot come with.
That's a cute moment. Cerberus wants to play with their new friend.
Best forever. And we gladly do not kill Nico with the ambrosia. Gladly. He's okay. Yeah. But Raye, he says Blake,
he says the line.
He says the thing.
He says the thing.
When I was talking to Charlie about what episode I'd come on for this season, I said I wanted the chapter where Nico says, "With great power comes great need to take a nap." And that's this chapter.
It is.
That's the good shit. That's what we like to hear.
Good Nico moments. This is the best quote from Nico. Okay.
It lives in my brain forever. I've thought about it for years. Like since I read it as a kid, I just think about it all the time.
This is why you're
He's so sleepy.
This is why. Yeah. This is why you're a child of hypnos.
He's totally prepared to just pass out right there, which, like, what does that say about where Nico's passed out before?
Yep.
This is true. Wake him up later, okay? But Percy does need his help, actually, right now. So,
yeah.
He cannot go into his little coma.
Percy just puts some drugs in this 12-year-old system, and then he's up and ready to go.
Like the opposite of NyQuil. Okay. So, does Percy just jump in? No, he has to, like, prepare, or he will just die immediately.
It will burn away your body and soul, just like when you burn away your mortal part in those other... Yeah, that's what Percy's about to do. He's about to burn his mortality with an evil river.
It's fine. It's okay. It's all good, okay? Yeah, he needs to stay anchored to his mortal life, and this is where we get Achilles. And I don't like this man here. This is not my Achilles.
Yeah.
Why does he look like Ares? Who is he?
Because he's a warrior. He's specifically like a war guy from a war story.
Why does he have short black hair?
Yeah, that does seem weird.
Yeah,
literally weird. Not how he's described. Who are you?
I think...
What are your luscious locks?
I think that if we're taking Rick's stuff as canon, then that means that all the people who wrote about him, he underwent bimboification. They were like, what if he was pretty, though?
Or maybe he was like, actually, even though I'm a ghost and I'm dead, I also need to, like, get with the times and, like, fit the modern masculinity. I'm gonna, like...
The modern soldier appearance, you know, you have to have short cropped hair in the army.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just saying. Give me, like, the Achilles from the Hades game, please.
Please.
He is
so
the best one.
Literally, he's nothing like Achilles, which is why I like him. Okay.
Well, the passage that we read on Wikipedia earlier did describe him as mild-mannered, which made me think about Hades' Achilles.
It's so interesting that he's mild-mannered, and yet
anger issues are like his whole shit. Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. I actually like that. That's like an interesting character type.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, just being gung-ho all the time.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. But he does have green eyes because his mom's a sea nymph, so...
Yeah. Cool detail from Rick.
I guess it's like, well, you know what? We're gonna make him look kind of like Percy, but Ares, actually.
So I think that the intention from Rick here is to make him seem like a veteran. Like someone who would... be able to have the trauma and the experience to tell you that this is not a good idea for you.
Yeah. Although I do find it interesting that unlike when we met Theseus last book, they do not describe Achilles as being like still just a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like specifically when we met Theseus, they're like, oh, he wasn't actually that much older than me, even though like the Thesean myth also canonically had like children and was an old man when he died.
Yeah.
But Rick tries to be like, oh no, demigods actually all of them were kids.
Yes, they
Like,
all died
They
young.
never made it.
But technically here, if his parent is just a sea nymph, then he's not really a demigod per se.
Fair, true. You never know.
He's
I'm
certainly
just
not
trying-
mortal either, not anymore.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what Rick's going for here.
I think that's it. I think that he is like a U.S. Army veteran. Like, that's the
Cool.
vibe.
And he's still got that freaking arrow in his ankle. It's so
Yep.
funny.
Yeah.
You ever just like be that ghost who's just living how you died forever? Do we like those kind of stories where it's like you died in the bathtub, so you're just like naked and like I guess wet forever. So
I like
you're welcome.
it when like ghosts have to like concentrate to hold their like regular form, and then if something happens to them, then they're just like, oh dang, my head fell off again, better go get that.
That's great. I'm just thinking of like in Stardust with all like the ghosts that are like following them around. They
Yeah.
all look like how they died. So like there's the guy who fell off the tower and he's got a smushed face like for the entire movie. It's great. All right. So Achilles is warning him that he should not do this. It's a bad idea.
And he also warned Luke that he shouldn't do this, and he also
Mhm.
did not listen. And
Yeah.
Percy's only doing this so that he can stand up against Luke, so he really has no choice.
Yeah. Sadly I cannot take Achilles saying beware seriously.
Yeah.
Only
Beware.
hear that.
Turn back.
I can
I'm
only
the box
hear beware.
ghost.
Freaking box ghost voice. Beware. I can't.
He feels very like guy at a haunted house who's got bad makeup on saying, beware, turn back.
Oh no, I can't. Yeah, well, he didn't really try, but he gave Percy a warning, so he's like, okay,
Did
I
my
tried,
bit.
guys, goodbye, peace out.
Percy, he's warning Percy that he's gonna have enhanced weaknesses after he does this, along with his enhanced strengths. And Percy says, you mean I'll have a bad heel? Couldn't I just, like, wear something besides sandals? No offense.
Oh
Which,
my
like,
god, yes!
Percy specifically chooses his weak point, his connection point, to be the small of his back because it's under armor when he fights. And it's like, you know, he's actually right. Why didn't Achilles, like, at least put, like, some shin guards on?
You're not wrong. But also, hey, what is Percy's fatal flaw? Is loyalty. And you have to stab him in the back to kill him.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Just saying. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very fun.
It's something he wouldn't see coming.
He also says his failings will increase, not just his physical ones, but his emotional ones,
Right.
or whatever.
Well, you know what? Percy will just need some therapy. It's fine. They all need therapy. It's gonna be okay. He has to prepare and just step into this boiling acid, I guess.
It's just water. It'll be fine.
This is actually Percy turning into the Joker. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I did that.
You got me with that one. Percy at his minimum wage job. I'm going to turn into the Joker.
All right. Well, this is so good. So Percy finally understands what it's like not to be able to breathe underwater for once.
Yeah, that's a good line.
I did wonder about that, and perhaps you can tell me if there's an answer to this, but did Percy, like, not know he could breathe underwater before he went to camp? And if he did know, what did he think was going on there?
We don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it comes up in the books. But, like, if that was me, and Percy has gone to the beach his whole life, I'm pretty sure. He's probably swam a lot. But, like, you would just assume that was normal and that other people were being, like, weird about it?
Maybe he just held his breath and he thought he held his breath and didn't realize that he could breathe underwater.
Yeah, especially
really
when you're
afraid
young
about it.
Yeah. I think that it's totally realistic that he just wouldn't notice one way or the other. Because, like, who would breathe in water? Mm-hmm. So, like, he wouldn't have done that. Yes, Charlie. They're raising their hand.
No, I breathe in water.
Oh. Like on because purpose or
like because I'm bad at holding my breath.
Yeah,
and so like I'm like, oh yeah, just breathe. Wait, that wasn't a good idea. But also I was just thinking about Lil Percy at the beach, and now I know something that I really want to draw. I was thinking about the Stitch and the Moana thing where we're holding the leaf for the turtle.
I don't think I know this.
Yeah. You don't know this? It's okay. So if you watch like to the end credits of like Stitch, there's like a one of the Polaroids of Stitch doing this, and then they recreate that for the beginning of Moana when she's a little baby. Is that she's holding the leaf over the turtle so that the birds don't get it.
Aww.
So that like, baby turtle can get back to the ocean. And like, yeah, and it's a reference. And anyway, I want to draw Percy doing that now.
Yeah,
that's sweet.
I love it. Okay, I'm gonna cry. Okay, so Percy sees all of his friends. Grover says enchiladas, as he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And he's like gonna die. He's like, this is even more than the pain of Kronos' blade. I can't do it. But the cord! Remember your lifeline, dummy! What familiar voice do we think is saying that?
Who else calls him a dummy, you know?
You know, only
it's his not girlfriend.
I was about to say that exact line. His not girlfriend. Is Annabeth. Yeah. I'm just having a moment. Okay. Ignore me.
But yes, calling the cord a lifeline is also interesting and also seems related to the silver cord thing, you know? Mm-hmm. And so he feels a tug in his lower back that's like pulling him back to reality. And then he hallucinates this cute little scene in the canoe lake.
It's so good. And she's the one who's there, and then he takes her hand, and then he's able to get out. And he did it. She was his connection to life, I guess.
Which, I'm assuming means that she's also now his weakness.
Maybe. Perhaps. Huh? You never know. His failings will be great now.
Well, it's just like an Avatar. In season 2 of Avatar, when Katara is his connection to the real world and he's not ready to let her go so that he can attain the Avatar state. You understand what I'm saying? You were just like giving me a look like
the opposite of that.
It sort of is. But in either case, they're their connection to like the physical realm.
That episode still makes me mad, though. Like, literally 5 minutes before Guru Patik, you were saying that he needed to hold on to that love. And
that's because he wasn't, like, Guru Patik wasn't clear about what he meant, and Aang didn't understand, and he ran off too quickly.
Yeah, I also, I don't think he necessarily meant you have to, like, let go of that romantic love, because you'll never be able to have it. It's more like you need to, you know, understand.
That, like, you need to, like...
You have a job?
Yes, what it is about...
own these connections. You also have these connections, but, like, you can't let them hold you back.
This grounds you to why you want to save the world. So you hold on to it, but you also have to save the world.
Yes, it's about priorities, and Aang wasn't willing to put the priority of the Avatar state above Katara.
Yeah. Anyway, go listen to My Cabbages. They'll be coming back soon, hopefully, with Korra. As we talk about Avatar on this podcast now. All right, so Percy can barely, like, catch his breath. He just, like, gets out, and then he's like, broiled.
Nico is, like, freaking out. He's like a lobster.
From Nico's perspective, Percy just fell into the river, was probably there for like 10 minutes or something.
And Nico's like, oh my god, I killed him.
Insert the gif of Neville being like, oh my god, I killed Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Robert, you have a meme for this week. Just put Nico's face over it.
And it's the same thing, and then Harry jumps out of the water, and Percy jumps out of the water. Yeah,
same thing. Right there. Cinematic parallels. Anyway, Percy's a lobster. Cue the dancing lobsters. Alright. But actually, cue the army of Roman legionnaires, coming after us, like, right now. And also British redcoats, I guess.
Yeah, specifically just those two. Whatever. Don't worry about it, it's fine.
Like, why? Why specifically Rome and Britain at these points in time? It's so weird.
And Hades is like, kill that boy. I'm sick of him.
Yeah, like, literally, it's the god of the underworld right there on his freaking chariot, and he's like, I'm gonna murder you, bitch. And Percy's like, you first. He's like, I was tired of Hades being a big bully.
That is how Percy sees the world. It's full of bullies.
So he yells, and then the Styx explodes. And then he's on a murder spree. Our boy. Just fucking murders.
I love the detail that Percy says that the muskets are firing at him point blank, but they all missed. Because he is not even noticing the impacts.
Yeah. It's not actually, like, the stormtroopers missing. It's like, they're hitting you, but they can't...
He just doesn't notice.
They can't go through your skin. Your clothes have bullet holes in them after this. So, they did in fact hit you.
They sure did. This fight description is the most, like, at this point, he's like the guy version of a Mary Sue. He's like
Gary Stu.
Yeah, he's Gary Stu. He's like, I am so strong, and I killed all of them in a whirl of blades, and I don't even know what happened because I'm so strong and cool.
He is strong and cool.
He is. It's true.
It's all about him, okay? Okay?
But it reads like suddenly he's a male power fantasy character.
He becomes an anime character right now.
He is, you're right.
That's why I said magical girl earlier. Like,
but see, that's not a magical girl trope. That's a shonen trope, you know?
Combine the two things together, okay? Just combine it in your head, and that is what Percy Jackson is.
People get power-ups when they're not magical girls. I just feel like you're insinuating that tropes are related to something when I don't think that they are.
Goku is a magical girl. Fight me.
Well, Fight me. No, you're right, because he goes Super Saiyan, which is a whole thing.
Is Percy not going Super Saiyan right now?
He's not. He doesn't have fancy hair or anything. But you know who does go Super Saiyan? It's Sonic. Sonic is a magical girl.
I think maybe Percy's just a magical girl like Cardcaptor Sakura is a magical girl, and he doesn't get like a cool outfit, but he's still a magical girl.
Yeah, no, that is see,
I never watched Cardcaptor Sakura, so that's probably the problem here.
Sakura has to get her special outfits made by her bestie because she doesn't have a transformation. She just has her lesbian bestie who's obsessed with her.
So I'll accept that Percy is a magical girl if he ever gets a tailor.
I will make his clothes for him. I will learn
I think that would be a great addition. Like somebody just making cool clothes for Percy at all times.
Yeah.
New OC, the person who makes all of Percy's clothes. Calypso made his clothes that one time. Does that count? Does that not count?
She's stuck on an island, so no.
Ugh, I'm gonna win this someday.
Someday.
Okay. All right, so this is wonderful. Percy literally just tumbles into Hades and plants his knee on his chest. Like he's like about to like murder this god, but you can't murder a god.
But he is going to stab him in the face, and that would be very uncomfortable.
Like, is this actually threatening? Does Hades just find this also annoying? Because he melts. Like
he seems pretty threatened for a minute there, and then he remembers that he has melting powers.
He's like, oh right, I'm a god. What am I doing here? But I do think it's funny that Percy's like, I just murdered a bunch of people, but just because I'm a nice person, I'm gonna let you go.
Oh, Percy. I love him.
Kills all the side characters and then gets to the main bad and is like, but I'm too good of a person to kill you.
Yeah. At least Rick thought to make them skeletons and not, random grunts people, on the payroll.
Yeah.
They are the random grunts in the payroll. They're just already dead, so
dead,
it's fine.
Yeah, so they'll be fine. He's dead, but he's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Not worse off than before.
Another great line here. I think the river thing worked. Oh, gee, you think? Nico is in such awe of Percy. That's all I have to say.
Percy does the most dramatic thing possible now, which is that when Hades dissolved, he left his robe behind. So Percy just picks it up and tosses it into the river so the tormented souls can be free. Thanks, buddy.
So I've definitely heard other people talk about this, but does Hades, appear back in his palace with no clothes? After this,
I think maybe he just gets a whole new section of people.
He could, or he could immediately.
That would also be pretty fun.
In my brain, he has an undersuit that's not made out of the tormented souls of the innocent or the not innocent, probably.
Isn't that a joke when Percy first meets Hades? What do you have to be to end up
be
as
sewn
Hades
into Hades' underwear? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, that was. But, he could also just, appear back at the palace, and Demeter's like, brother, put some pants on! And Persephone's like, oh, okay.
Man.
It's like, we're doing this right here? Maybe let's go to the bedroom.
See, it's not very funny, but I think that he's just wearing an undershirt and pants, so...
I like the sitcom attitude, okay? Where it's just that shouldn't be happening, but it's fine.
Why did he leave behind his clothes in the first place?
It's real weird.
He was holding them?
Oh, I guess that makes sense. But,
and he has melty powers.
He's still a god. It seems weird.
Because it's more dramatic that way, leave it behind.
So then Percy can throw it into the river, yes.
Yeah. Well, Percy's like, hey, Nico, you need to go convince your father to fight in this war because we're fucked.
And Nico's like, I don't think I could do that.
You're the only one who can. Just really sad.
Yeah. It's a depressing thought, Nico says.
That it is.
Yep.
And now Percy's gonna be all dramatic and go find Luke. Drama! He did it.
Yep, that's a chapter.
We did it, boys. We're in the end game now. We're starting the war. Even though the war's already begun, it's been going on for books. Many books. I think the war started with the Lightning Thief.
Yeah, pretty much.
We just had little battles and skirmishes,
We're escalating from Cold War to fighting.
I think Percy's just giving us some fake Trojan War shit where it's the entire Iliad was the Trojan War. No, it wasn't. That was just one fight, maybe two. It wasn't the whole thing. Okay, Last Olympian is not the entire war.
We'll have to actually read it soon because I actually don't know what happens in the Iliad.
We're gonna talk about the fucking Iliad, okay? We're gonna do it, and now we can possibly cover media again on the Bonus Show, and I'm so happy.
Well, speaking of which, let's do plugs.
Yeah. Oh, Blake, if you'd like to be found on the internet, do you want to be found? Yes,
yeah, sure, I'll be found. The only place I'm at is on Tumblr, so I'm Snake Fashion on Tumblr. That's snake like the animal and fashion like the concept.
Beautiful, amazing. All right, do we have some media to plug today?
I bought Sea of Stars for the Switch.
Ooh. How's that?
It has been very fun. I'm in endgame now. I've beaten the final boss, but I'm going back and doing all the completionist stuff, which it has a good system for doing. So I've been having a lot of fun just finishing the game up, and I don't think that the writing is the best I've ever seen, but it is like the main characters especially are kind of bland. But they have a little friend who's my precious special boy. And
there you go.
And there's like a very nice character-based plot, and it's a turn-based fight game, but it does a good job of keeping you engaged by like making the battles into like kind of puzzles. And yeah, I'd recommend it.
You said turn-based fighting, and my brain's like, I understood that reference.
No, I have been interested in that game, so hearing a good plug, always good to hear. Maybe I'll spend more money on games.
Right.
Definitely something I should be doing.
So the only reason I bought it is because I wanted to buy Baldur's Gate, but it wouldn't run on my computer, so I had to return it. So I was like, as a consolation prize for myself, I'll get Sea of Stars.
Get a new computer, please. Please.
I was looking into it, but real gaming computers are so fucking expensive.
Get a new computer. Get your foot better so that you can go back to work.
Don't even talk to me. My life is a shambles. Did you know that?
Sorry.
Did you know this, Blake? Did you know that I'm in a cast? I've been in a cast this whole time.
And their house, literally, it's all stairs.
It's a split foyer. It is all stairs all the way. I think I might have to leave. I'm on crutches, my dude.
Just don't leave your house, I think.
Well, no. All the rooms are upstairs. The kitchen is downstairs. I have to use stairs to live.
No, you just eat in your room.
Who's gonna bring me food? My special in-house maid?
Yes, I told you.
Keep
I
all
will
the food in your room. Just get all the.
Oh yeah,
get a mini fridge for like the next 2 weeks or so, or just like sleep downstairs.
That would be a possibility, but like, there's not a bed.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, before I forget my plug, which I will.
Oh yes,
I'm gonna say Ghost Trick, which I've been thinking about a lot lately. Because I already played it before it was released, but it was re-released semi-recently. You should play it. It's an extremely good mystery game. It starts with you finding your dead body ass up, and you're like, well,
right.
Now what? And it's got really good characters, and there's Missile, the best dog ever. I love him so much.
Who also makes an appearance in Ace Attorney.
Yes. Well, Ghost Trick was written by Shu Takumi, who is also the creator of the Ace Attorney series. And Shu Takumi had a dog named Missile, and so he just named the dogs in his games Missile. Which is so valid of him.
Yeah.
And Missile in Ghost Trick is like the best dog in media ever. Like, truly. I love Missile so much. And it's a good little puzzle game. It's a very good mystery. Absolutely perfect, actually, in my opinion. You should all play it.
I've heard only good things about it. I've really wanted to get into it, but I'm bad at playing video games recently, so.
It's a pretty short video game. Like, I think like 10, like not short, but it's like 10 hours to play the whole thing.
Nice.
So
good shit.
Hell yeah.
This is the video game episode.
You got a game. You a real gamer, Charlie?
Is going to be something that I have been like playing with Blake here. Professor Layton versus Ace
fuck yeah!
Ace Attorney. I can't. I was like, I got the name up.
It's a good thing I didn't decide to plug that myself.
I got the name up so I wouldn't fuck it up, and I did it anyway. It's the Layton crossover. That's what it is. It's that game. Yeah, we've been playing it very, very slowly because the first time we tried to like play it, my computer was like, "You need to update your drivers."
Yeah, it wouldn't show us any of the sprites, so we were just watching
Professor Layton.
Screen.
My goodness,
hate this universe. It hates me. You know what happens every time I open up Baldur's Gate? It says, you need to update your drivers. And I'm like, you know what?
How often can these drivers be updating? Like,
Literally right now, I'm apparently like 0.2 or something updates off. And it's weird. It's literally so weird. Like, I swear, the Baldur's Gate thing was like, it updated again, and then my computer updated the drivers, but it's still like just a little bit off. Just a little bit.
We should play more Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, Charlie.
It's true.
I've always wanted to play it. Is it a good time?
Bro.
It's so good. It's so good.
Bro. Okay, but also the production value in those cutscenes is like so much.
It's so good. It's like, why does this game have so much money? No other Ace Attorney game got this much money. Like,
no one has played this game, apparently, and like, it's got such good production value. It looks great.
Except for Phoenix's eyes, which are just like a little bit dead, but that's okay.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Layton has dead eyes too. Like,
yeah,
he has
but he's
no
supposed
eyes.
to have dead eyes.
I know. That's what, like, it kind of infuriates me about him, because he's just a long boy.
He's just a little cartoon man.
He is. And then the fact that his voice sounds like that, like, it just like, there's some dissonance happening to me that just doesn't fit.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who, like, was introduced to Layton with that voice, like, immediately, I don't know what you're talking about, but I can understand sometimes you see a character and you're like, I did not expect you to sound like that.
No, I had the same reaction, like, the first time I played a Layton game.
I'm just like, I've seen this man's face so many times and I don't hear his voice very often. And then I did, and I'm like, you're like just a long boy. Why do you sound like a proper gentleman right now? What is happening?
He is a gentleman.
That's his whole thing, is that he's an upstanding British gentleman.
I'm sorry, I expect him to sound like Hootie. Like, that face. Look at his face. He should sound like fucking Hootie.
My god.
Oh no. I need someone to make like a little like dub over of some Layton scenes, just like put in Hootie's voice. Oh my god, I need that so bad now.
You're welcome. I've done this to you. But that's what I think of when I see his face. I'm just like, why do you remind me of Hootie from the Owl House?
My
like,
god.
You're just like a weird little gremlin man. That's what you look like to me. But you're not.
Oh, man.
Anyway, it's just the dead eyes that are just dots that do it for me.
I see.
There's nothing there.
All
There's no
right.
soul.
Charlie, release us from this mortal coil.
No, I have to complain about Layton more.
You can do that on your own time.
This is my own time. All right.
It's your podcast, it's true.
Get out of my fucking cabin, because I'm melting out of my clothes, and I'm gonna go up here naked somewhere.
What then? Wink.
I'm gonna go up here in your cabin naked. Why don't?
No.
How about that?
I think that's against camp rules.
Yeah, you're not allowed to have the door closed, Charlie.
I never said the door was closed.
Oh, kinky.
Okay. Well, bye.
Bye.
I guess.
Bye.
We'd like to thank our listeners and Patreons, especially Matt. You can follow this podcast socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and Tumblr, and at Of the Eldest Gods on Twitter. You can send us an iris message through oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about episodes and anything Percy Jackson related. Our $5 patron tier also gets you access to Against All Odds, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll talk about a wide variety of topics, which usually have something to do with mythology. No promises. You can check out our merch store on Redbubble to find custom designs made by Charlie. Or if you cannot or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. You can find me, Raye, at HeyHeyRaye, spelled R-A-Y-E, on Twitter. If you want to hear more from me, check out Barbie Movie Slap, a podcast where my co-host Ted and I discuss Barbie's cinematic universe. That podcast Twitter is at Barbie Slaps.
And you can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms, but on Twitter I'm at GreenPixie123, which I'm totally not salty about. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws. I sometimes do the YouTube thing on my channel, Charlie Mac. That's M-A-C-K. Our music was written by Isabel Strauss-Riggs and recorded and edited by Ian M. Riggs. You can find Izzy at Kane_I, that's I as in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. She also currently makes video essays on the YouTube channel Kane I. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your podcast. Of the Oldest Gods is proud to be a part of Deus Ex Media, which features great podcasts like The Restricted Section, a chapter-by-chapter Harry Potter pod with lots of spoilers all the time.
What's up, potheads? I'm Christina Kahn, host of The Restricted Section, the Harry Potter Slander Harry Potter Book Club podcast. We are a raunchy, rambling, unabashedly pro-trans rights Harry Potter Book Club podcast hosted by a bunch of nihilistic millennials who are desperately clinging to childhood fantasies as a way to escape the monotony of our 9-to-5 work culture and the inevitable extinction of the human race at our own hands. Isn't it wild that this book series was spontaneously created by the gods and has no actual author? Welcome to the show. The Restricted Section releases episodes on Wednesdays. The Restricted Section can be found at Restricted Section Pod or at Restricted Pod across all the socials. And just to make it clear, fuck TERFs.
Of the Eldest Gods is based on the series by Rick Riordan. Right now, we are discussing Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday.
Oh my goodness, it's a cat.
We have a visitor.
Sorry,
I'm trying to get them to go away.
No, but there's a cat! It's gonna distract
We
me.
love Cat.
That's
Oh, goodness.
Pomegranate, aka Pom Pom, aka Best Baby.
Deus Ex Media.